Schlaptime.
10 eerie photos that'll send shivers down your spine. From a photo of a mysterious blood-red river in the heart of China to a picture of a baby in a cage hanging out a window, we take a peek at 10 eerie photos that'll send shivers down your spine. When a photographer decided to take this pic of a wedding ceremony from a nearby rooftop, he didn't realise he'd captured something far more sinister. In the building behind, 12 eerie hooded figures can clearly be seen lined up along the first floor balcony. When the photo was released, internet speculation ran rife as to the identity of the mysterious figures and what it was they were doing there. Were they secretly overseeing the wedding, or did the photographer unknowingly capture some sort of bizarre ritual? Turns out the figures were actually part of an art exhibition by Dawn Dudot entitled The Goddess Fortuna and Her Dunces. So not so sinister as first thought, but still makes for a very eerie photo. In July 2014, villagers in Qinmeichu village in Zhejiang, China, awoke to discover the river that runs through the town had turned blood red. Some thought it may be a spiritual sign, perhaps signalling the end of the world, while others believed the eerie colouring was the result of illegal dumping by a food colouring factory upstream. The actual cause of the blood red river was never confirmed. This heartbreaking photo shows the graves of a Protestant man and his Catholic wife. Colonel J.W.C. Van Gorkum married Lady J.C.P.H. Van Afferdin in 1842, and the couple went on to spend 38 years together. When the colonel passed away in 1880, he was buried in the Protestant area of the cemetery. His wife lived for 8 more years and decided before her passing, rather than being buried in her family's plot, she would prefer her final resting place to be as close to her husband as possible. Because she was Catholic, the closest place she could be buried was against the wall that divides the two religions. The headstones were built tall enough to allow the couple to hold hands eternally. London mums of the 1930s had a novel way of creating additional space in their city apartments, allowing their precious little bub to get some fresh air. This photo is of a baby cage, a short-lived invention that was essentially a wire fence that was attached to an open window, dangling precariously several stories above the busy streets below. This photo, taken at dusk on a sheep station in Western Australia, shows hundreds of sheep approaching the fence for their nightly feed. The flash is reflected in the eyes of the zombie-like animals, creating this strangely unnerving image. In 2010, the town of Sindh, Pakistan received more than 10 years of rain in 1 week, causing widespread flooding of the surrounding farmland. As a result, millions of spiders ascended into the few trees high enough to avoid the rising waters. There are so many spiders in the trees that their combined webs make the trees themselves look like cotton candy. The person who captured this image was UK aid worker Russell Watkins, who noted that if you stood under one of these trees, dozens of small, very, very tiny little spiders would be dropping down onto your head. This photo of a creepy big-mouthed clown posing with a small girl is unsettling to say the least. The origin of the pic is uncertain, but one thing is for sure, that the little girl is trying her best not to look understandably terrified. This unsettling photo, supposedly of a goat man, was taken by Mark Hunter while walking in the forest behind his house. Hunter, who captured the freaky image on a GoPro, said, "I was about to take aim, but he sort of batted at me, and then he stood up and it was a stark naked man with a long neck and a goat head." Hunter said he thought the creature may have just been a man wearing a severed goat's head as a mask, but after reviewing the footage was convinced what he saw was real. This otherworldly image was captured from the viewing platform on the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, UAE. The Burj Khalifa stands a staggering 829.8 meters tall, which is around 2,722 feet from the ground to the tip, and is so tall that it's possible to take a photo looking down at the surrounding rooftops as they pierce the thick cloud cover. The sheer height of the Burj Khalifa creates this eerie illusion that a city in the clouds is sprawled right out in front of your eyes. This horrifying image is the last thing you want to see aboard a plane, either taking off or landing. A mid-air collision between a flock of birds and a plane is what's commonly known in the aviation industry as a bird strike, and it is a relatively frequent occurrence. Luckily, very few bird strikes end in disaster, except for the birds, that is, who are often squashed against the side of the plane or sucked into the engines. Fascinating, fascinating! As always, thanks heaps for watching. If you're enjoying this sort of content, hit that thumbs up button. Let's try and get this video to 1,000 likes. Let us know in the comments section below which photo was your favourite. And this is the Schlaptime. I'm shining